Number 7 is to know your pay stub well enough that you can explain it to someone else. So when it comes to the pay stub, this is a function of understanding taxes and your employee benefits. When we start working with a new couple or a new person, one of the first steps that we ask them to do is to provide us with 2 recent pay stubs. And I can't tell you how many times we come across someone who is either not taking enough taxes out of their check, which could lead to a big tax bill, or they're taking too much out of their check when it comes to having multiple jobs and getting double taxed for Social Security. Their withholding isn't something they understand. We also, when going through those pay stubs, they have insurances that they weren't aware that they were paying for. Maybe they are over contributing to something that makes their contributions out of whack. We'll come across someone who's putting more into their employee stock purchase program than they are into places like their 401k. And it's not something that they were aware of because they set it and forget it so long ago that it's not something that's in front of them. When it comes to FICA taxes and OASDI taxes and imputed income tax for group life insurance, it is a good skill to have to be able to know what is actually being withheld from your paycheck before the money hits your account. So I would encourage you to take 20 or 30 minutes, take out a recent pay stub, identify the things that you don't understand, Google the things that are Googleable, reach out to HR for the things that are specific to your company, and have a better grasp on your pay stub so that you can explain it to someone else if you needed to. And you would be surprised the amount of insights that you can pick up that will either identify opportunities to save even more money or benefit from pre-tax deductions at a higher level, or in other cases, by making some adjustments to things like your withholdings, prevent you from having a big tax bill that you didn't expect at the end of the year. Number 8 is to set your alerts. There are very few times that I have to log in to check anything when it comes to my finances, because most activities of note that would concern me financially are things that I'm automatically notified of. If I spend more than I want to in a certain area of our finances, I don't have to look at my budget to figure that out. I'm automatically notified when I've exceeded a certain amount in different categories of my budget. If someone checks my credit, I don't need to know that. If someone checks my credit, I'm automatically notified. If my credit utilization has increased, I'm unfortunately automatically notified. If I have a bill that's higher this month than it typically is, I'm automatically notified. And that's a function of the alerts and notifications that I've set up for different areas of my finances. As an example, when it comes to credit, I've talked about bulletproofing your credit score. And one of the ways that I do so is just through services like Credit Karma and Experian. Both of them are free. I have a membership with both. Experian tells me my FICO score with Experian. Credit Karma tells me my Vantage score with TransUnion and Equifax. And I have my notifications set so that when there's anything that impacts my credit potentially, I get an email alert letting me know that it's occurred. I also have identity theft tracking through LifeLock. This is not a recommendation for these services. It's just an example of what I use so that if someone checks my credit or if someone is trying to use a password of mine to establish an account that I didn't authorize, I'm automatically notified. When it comes to things like budgeting, investment alerts, things of that nature, bill alerts for things that have exceeded typical amounts, I have Monarch Money. Monarch Money is something where I can plug in all my accounts, and in one place I can see account balances, I can see transactions, I can categorize them, but I can also set budget alerts for different categories so that when I exceed those amounts, I'm automatically emailed. So this is another function of automation, but even more so than the automation is just the awareness that comes with making sure that there's not a bill that isn't paid that catches you off guard, because you wouldn't want to check on your credit and you have a missed payment or a late payment that's now going to be there for 7 years simply because you didn't log on to a site every single day to notice that was missing. You want to be able to set an alert to let you know when it happens, hey, you need to pay this bill is late, make sure you address it accordingly. So I'll put a link to some of my favorite automated services so that you can check them out for yourself. There are other services out there that you can use if those don't fit your needs, but I don't want someone who has to, through their own discipline, through their own monitoring, be financially aware. You want to be financially aware, but if it always requires you to log in and check, then that's something that does more harm than good, again, in my opinion.